Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Darius. Darius is from London in the UK. So let's see what Darius has to say. Enjoy the interview. I see. So hello Darius, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you, William?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for inviting me. It's exciting. You sound
So tell me,
Brazilian.
I'm from Brazil. Yeah, I'm from Brazil.
Oh,
Yes.
nice, nice, nice. My parents are Brazilian. Just I could hear the accent. That's why.
And I can see your surname actually, Da Silva. Actually, I have Silva in my surname as well.
Oh, we might be cousins. You never know.
So tell me, how's your weekend going so far?
Very busy, if I'm being honest. Just training, editing, doing a bunch of stuff, man. But it's good. I can't complain. Life is good.
Amazing. So tell me, what has been the highlight of your weekend so far?
Oh, actually, my lives on TikTok, I've met a lot of interesting characters, and yeah, I'm falling in love with the process of just finding more about people, right? And I'm discovering stuff about myself that I didn't know, and I'm just, it's a good thing. It's a good. I love it.
That's amazing. Tell me where you're from, Darius.
So, both my parents are Brazilian, but I was born in Spain. Uh, I grew up in Madrid up until I was 10 years old, and then from 10 to 15, I was in Mallorca, and then from 15, yeah, until now in London, UK. Yeah,
Oh, wow. And where's about in Brazil your parents are from?
they're both from Rio.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, wow.
Uh,
That's great. Did you get to see some, like sometimes Rio? Did you visit sometimes? Did you have some time there growing up as well or not?
my parents won't let me go. They won't let me go
Really?
because yeah, I'm 31 years old, and they're still scared that something may happen because according to especially my father, I'm very tall. I got tattoos all over, and just my complexion. Apparently, I look like a police officer, and people don't tend to treat police officers very kindly over there. So he's like, stay
No
away.
way. Oh, wow. So you never got to go to Brazil then?
No,
Oh,
it's a shame. It's a shame, really. Yeah.
so tell me, and what do you do for work, for living, Darius?
So I work in a school, people referral units, pro units, and I'm a therapeutic educational practitioner, and I deal with kids that have either medical issues or mental health issues.
Wow.
Yeah,
So tell me a little bit more about your job. What do you like the most about it?
I like the I like the way I can see more things about the other people's lives and see how it affects them, and I like how I can have a positive impact on some of these kids. I've seen a lot of stuff, man. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've heard a lot of stuff, and I deal with kids that, for example, have like like really really hard medical conditions, and I see the resilience in them, and it's quite inspiring, to be honest. It's quite inspiring, and then I see everything, right? I see everything, but that is one aspect that makes me makes me very humble. Makes me very
I
humble.
see. I see. And also, of course, we got connected through TikTok, through social media. So tell me a little bit more about your journey as a coach.
So I've started to do well, take this TikTok thing very very seriously. Beginning of the year,
Mhm.
as obviously I specialize in fasting and how fasting affects your performance, your mood, your body, your mind, your spirit. And I've done fasting for over 10 years, and I've wanted always to kind of share my experience and telling people how to fast and showing them how to fast so they can do it themselves and see the change for themselves. Because I look a certain way, people keep saying, like, you train very hard, you look a certain way, you must be taking steroids. And I'm like, I never took steroids in my life. I just look this way because I do this, and they don't believe me. So I decided to show it to the world and teach them that.
Wow. I like that. I was checking a little bit more of some of your videos. Of like, oh my God, that's very interesting for sure. Wow. I think the power of social media, in a good way is that, people they have the opportunity to educate other people regarding their health, their fitness, their mental health. And I think that's people like you spreading this awareness around and helping people to live a better life. I think it's great to see for sure.
It's very important. It's very important.
Okay, Darius. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far. Okay?
Okay, no worries.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of view?
Always ready. I'm ready.
Amazing. Million and the magic box. So I have here my best friend. Of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question. Okay?
No worries.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change. Okay?
Okay, no worries.
Amazing. Right, first question is, what's something that you always wanted to do but you're scared of?
Fighting, actually. That's what I'm doing it.
Tell me about it.
So as a juvenile, I got messed up with I got involved with the wrong crowd, and I always got involved in this sort of street fights and stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, I got beat plenty of times, plenty of times. And one of the reasons was because I was afraid. And yeah, I just said I don't want to be afraid anymore, and I need to just go into the deep end and find something, find the strength. So yeah, I just started taking classes of wrestling, boxing, but then that kind of stopped. The streets were calling me, as they say. But yeah, I got reconnected with it on my mid 20s, and it was something that I always wanted to do. And every time I step into the cage or any sort of competition, I still feel scared. But it's the fire that keeps me pushing. Like you have to go. Like you must do it. Otherwise, you live with that regret for the rest of your life. So I don't want to do that.
And why is that? Why do you think you have this fear in your, in your minds or in your body or in your person? What is about?
It's just the fear of the unknown. Fighting is a very chaotic thing to do. It's uncontrolled chaos, and I tend, well, especially in my childhood, everything was chaos, and I always felt frightened and afraid. And through training, I understood that I can. The only thing that I can control is myself, control my thoughts, and control how I feel. And as long as I'm in control of myself, that's fine. I just need to be okay with that. And whatever happens, happens. Like you could cross the street and you could, something could happen, right? But at least I get to choose how I go, in a way, if that makes sense.
I see. And do you have siblings as well, or you are the only child?
I've got one brother and one sister. My sister, she's 15. She's gonna be 16 this year, and my brother is 26.
Wow. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Darius, next question for you is, tell us about your best holidays and why you consider that.
Oh, my best holiday was definitely, I say, I got two top holidays. One, Japan, which is comes in number two, and number one is Thailand, 100% Thailand. And the reason why Thailand is number one is because as soon as I stepped out of the plane, the energy, the energy of the place, just I could feel it. It's different. The people are so nice. They're very relaxed, and they don't have much as well. They're very humble. Um, they're very poor. It's a poor country, but they still find joy in the little things, and they show that joy and they spread the happiness to everybody who comes. And let's not even talk about the food. The food is just amazing, and I love the culture. The culture is just something else. It's something else. I love Thailand. I'm going back there again, so yeah,
Wow.
I'll stay there.
And why Japan?
Say again.
Why Japan?
Why Japan? Japan is like a different world.
Yeah.
Japan is as soon as I like walking through Tokyo, it's very. I found a mix of modernity and tradition blended beautifully together. And the people are very polite, they're very respectful, but at the same time they're very advanced. There isn't a single bin in Japan. Like if you let's say you buy this bottle, you have to carry it on your hand until you see the bin because they have no bins. Yet the streets are super clean.
Wow.
That amazes me. I never seen that anywhere else.
You know what? That is when I started doing the interviews. I always been very fascinated as well about the Japanese culture. I've never been there. It's one of my bucket lists, and I'd love to spend some time there. I used to work in a five-star hotel a few years ago here in London, and we had some Japanese guests come sometimes. Oh my God, the way they look at you, the way they approach you, it's such a different approach. Not saying that's wrong, the other, it's just different. Yeah,
Yeah,
the tone of their voice as well. It's something about that their culture. I think it's amazing. It's amazing to see. So tell
yes,
me, what was the highlight of your trip to Japan when you think about it?
the ramen,
Yeah.
the ramen. Oh my god, I went to this place because they. So I went to this restaurant, right? And they had they make the food in front of you, right? And the chefs, while they serve you, they look at you to see your reaction, right? I'm a big boy. I like to eat, right? And I was just eating. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And the guy just looked at me and was like, why's this dude looking at me? I'm just eating my food. I'm really enjoying my food, but he just kept looking at me. And he's like, do you want some more? Do you want some more? And he kept feeding me. And they just kept giving me food. And I was just amazing. I'm just gonna keep eating. And yeah, this is just they're very embracing, even though we couldn't communicate that well, we understood and through the emotion of what was happening right there. And yeah, it was this ramen place. I had like two big bowls of ramen. I had friends as well. I ate their place too. I just kept just kept eating. And I had to go back another two times. And as soon as I went, oh my friend, how are you? And then just they knew already what I wanted to. So that was amazing. That was amazing.
And since I started doing the show, I always wanted to have, I had people here from all over the planet, a few people, and I always wanted to have a Japanese person here on the show. And I think last year I had a lovely man here from Japan, from Tokyo, and it was amazing to talk about his culture, about his background, his family, about Japanese culture as well. He lives in London. He's an actor. He lives in London, and he kind of explained the difference as well and how to live in London as well. It was very interesting for sure.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Next question. Let's do it. You like dancing?
Also, I like only bachata, to be honest, because I don't know, my body just knows how to dance like Latin music only. It's weird. It's weird.
Before the next question, Darius, being a coach, I had a few coaches here on the show, but something that got my attention, and you already mentioned about fasting, yeah? So tell me a little bit more about this idea, something that I never seen before on social media about this idea of fasting, when this idea came along.
Well, I tried. So I was a very fat kid, right? That's first. Let's start from there. I was a very fat kid. I was very unhealthy. It was actually my dad that motivated me to start training, because he called me, come on, you can outrun me, and he called me a fatty as well. I was like, oh, you fatty, you can last a mile with me, and that it was true. I couldn't last a mile. The old man outran me, and then I just started running and running, and then I just took it to another level, and then understood the importance of nutrition and the importance of proteins and macros and all of that. And then I'm always very curious. As you can see, I have plenty of books in here, and I'm very particularly interested in history. And throughout history, especially our primal ancestors, they did not eat the conventional way: 3 meals a day, 5 meals a day. We ate once if we had the chance to eat, and then they ate mainly proteins and fats, right? And this notion of as soon as you wake up, you have breakfast, and then at 12, at work, you have your break, and then you eat, and then, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then I started seeing more studies about the correlation of sickness and insulin, right? So I found out that 95% of today's diseases are caused by the way we eat, right? So that means is a ridiculous number. So that means that only 5% of the actual, like, the worst diseases that you can think of are actually genetic. 95% are actually because of the way we eat. And I started looking more into that. And then I came across this guy that was doing fasting, and I was like, oh, fasting is a... And then I just really delved into it, and I decided to give it a go. And then I gave it a go, and I had to get rid of the mentality of, because I started off as a bodybuilder, if that makes sense, just going to the gym. And I always wanted to like look big and huge and just, just look that way. And everybody keeps saying, "Oh, if you don't eat, you're gonna lose all that muscle. If you don't eat, then you're gonna feel weak and you're not gonna have energy to train on." I just had to get rid of that mentality and had to be okay. Whatever happens, happens. I want to see. And it was all the contrary. I had more energy than ever. My mental clarity was just like off the roof. Um, I gained more muscle than ever before. I was ripped. I just felt amazing. And I just kept on doing it and researching on, oh, maybe I can fast this long and maybe I can do this way. Maybe I can train that way while I'm doing this and that. So that's how it all started. That's how it all started. And 10
I,
years later, here we are.
wow, amazing. Okay, next question is, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Get in trouble. Get in trouble, especially in school. But yeah, I was that kid. I was just getting in trouble. I needed the spice. I needed the action. So yeah, probably just apart from playing video games, yeah, just getting in trouble.
And why is that? Why did you have this personality of being adventure and try to be this way? Why do you think that it just was in your spirit?
uh, uh, I mean, my mom used to grind me a lot, and I remember one summer she just said, "Yeah, you grounded for the whole summer." And the only thing I think, one from one side, obviously I was upset, but for another side, she made me study a lot. So I think that's why I just I developed this book addiction. But yeah, I didn't like the feeling of being cooped up in the house for that
Right.
summer, and that just I told myself, yeah, as soon as I kind of spread my wings, I'm just gonna fly, bro. Like, and that's what I did. That's what I did. I just wanted to experience life to the fullest. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I see. And for you, growing up in Spain, did you nowadays do you find English as your first language, or you still have some connection with Portuguese or Spanish?
Funnily enough, I never. So I mainly think in English, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I've been here for so long that even the way I think, even the way I talk in Spanish has changed. Portuguese is a language that I learned through just listening. I never sat down and my mom never sat down, my dad never sat down to teach me, okay, this is how you say this and that in Portuguese. I just mainly cussing, right? Like I don't you're Brazilian, my mom was always cussing, like, okay, cool. I know what that means, right? But yeah, it's just that. And it's just weird. It's weird because sometimes I feel very out of place. And I think that seems to be the case with a lot of immigrants that migrate to another place and
yeah,
they spend a chunk of their lives in that place. And then whenever they return back, they
yeah,
feel different. It's not the
yeah.
same.
I see. And do you kind of do you have some memories, in Madrid? Do you have some, relative or friends still there?
Oh, yeah, I got many memories. I got many memories, especially of yeah, I have many memories, man. But one of the most vivid memories that I have is when I was a kid. Um, I used to just be fascinated by fire, right? And then my stepfather had this lighter, and I just kept playing with the lighter. And they took it away from me, and it was my auntie's birthday. I remember, and yeah, they took away the lighter from me. I said, "Darius, don't play with that. Don't play with this." And I'm okay, cool. I went about my day and I found the lighters somewhere around the house and I hid it, right? So I took it and I went to play with the lighter under the bed. And then all of a sudden I'm just looking at, oh my God, look at how beautiful the flame is. And yeah, you can guess what happened. Like all of a sudden I'm under the bed caught fire above me, and I'm like, oh, like I need to do something about it. And then I remember just going to the kitchen, filling up a glass and then throwing it. But I remember throwing it, so the fire was here, I was throwing the water that way, right? I was completely missing it. And I did that like a couple times until they caught on what's happening. It's like, why is this boy running up and down with a glass of water? And I started smelling the fire. And all of a sudden, all I remember is just a big fire in my room. And yeah, big drama. You know, my mom had my auntie's cake as well. She threw the cake. Firefighters pulling me from my window, and it was a
Wow.
huge drama. Huge drama. Yeah, I'll never forget that. 100%.
I would never either. Oh my, how old were you at the time? Do you remember?
I was probably like five,
Wow.
6 years old. Yeah, not a kid. I told you I like travel.
It's all explained now. Next question. Hey, Darius, next question for you is, what's something you wish you could do every single day?
train, train, which is what I do. Just train. Just be peaceful. Be
Wow.
peaceful. Yeah, just it's a practice that I do every little chance that I have. Yeah, it's something that I try to practice. Just be peaceful, train, and be just calm, centered. That's it. I wish nothing more, nothing less. Just calmness.
Say something and saying that when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being Darius? What do you like the most about being you?
I'm tenacious. I'm
Mm,
tenacious. I know I'm stubborn. You can call it stubborn, but
right.
yeah, I'm very tenacious. If I want something or if I want to, guess I will get it somehow. And I got that from training as well. Like I don't want to feel like I left something on the table. I want to
Right.
make sure that I've done everything I could. So that's one thing that I do.
And you're kind of person that prefer to train during the like in the morning, in the evening. How does work your schedule?
Evening, 100% evening. In the morning, I like to slow mornings, drink my coffee, just relax, read a book, just stay calm. And then in the evening is when I like to go sparring and everything. So that's what I
Wow.
like.
And your rest, do you have like a resting day, like a specific, or it can happen anytime? How do you have like a schedule of resting or not?
I do, but I tend to listen to my body a lot, especially as I age. I tend to listen to my body quite a lot,
Mhm.
and it's been working. It's been paying dividends actually. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Okay, 3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they get married?
Oh, um, I'd say finances very important.
Mhm.
If you don't, just a lot of divorces and a lot of problems in relationships in general are finances. Traumas, any
Mhm.
past traumas. Do you have a good relationship with your mother? Do you have a good relationship with your father, your family? Um, Virtues and values,
Right.
right? What do you believe in? What can you accept? What can you not accept? Are you this type of person? What if, would you help if you see an old lady, would you help her? Like it's the little things that make up the whole entirety of the person. And especially, because when you have kids, if that's the way you want to go, uh, um, that's how you are going to raise that child, right? And it's two people, right? It takes a whole, like they say, it takes a whole village to raise one kid. But what does the rest? How does the rest think? And you know what I'm saying? What do they
Yep,
believe in? So
totally
yeah,
agree.
I'll say those three things are important.
And how do you see, I don't know, are you in a relationship now or you're single?
I'm in a relationship.
Okay, so before you start a relationship, how do you see or maybe to keep, how do you see relationships in London, a big city like London? Do you think that it's easy to go on a relationship, like to connect in a dating, or do you think it can be difficult based on your experience or other people around you? How do you see that? This stigma about big cities that it's difficult to connect with people because we are so busy. People they are looking for the next one. There's always, if you know what I mean. How do you see that, in your opinion?
I'll say it's difficult if you want it to be, and what I mean by that, it's a lot of people wear a mask, right? And a lot of people, especially when you just meet someone, you want to seem very perfect. You want to pretend that you don't have any flaws. Everybody's pretending to be something that they really can't keep up for too long, right? And then when the illusion falls, when the illusion gets shattered, that's when problems starts to, surface. And they start to, oh, boom, bye. Like, I don't have to deal with this. But I believe that it takes two to push the whole, to push the train, the car, right? And it's a constant choice. I don't believe in love. I believe in commitment, right? Commitment is very different than love. Love is a feeling, and you feel like going to the gym. You feel like eating.
You're in love with the gym. You're in love with the gym. I'm
Exactly,
joking.
but sometimes it hurts. It hurts. So you have to, okay, cool. I need to commit to it. You don't have to feel it. You just need to commit to it. That is
Yeah.
it. Love is the same.
Yeah, both of them, gym and love, they can hurt, like very hurt, like very painful. That's, there's sometimes there's no, if there was like a pill for you to take it and to take away this pain, but there's not, sometimes this can be really, really hard. However, it's worth to take the ride. I think the, feelings, emotions, when you connect to someone, when you have this commitment or love, how you can call, I think it's a beautiful feeling, and it's a maintenance every single day,
Yeah.
it's not just beautiful skies, beautiful flowers. There are the storms as well, you know what I mean? And that's what makes a relationship interesting, because it'll be boring if you don't have just beautiful skies and everything. I think we need those spicy moments as well to kind of get to know each other and to go to another level of a relationship. That's how I see it.
100%.
Which person in your life right now you feel more connected with or more close to?
I don't want to sound selfish, but I'll say myself.
Wow.
I'll say myself because at some point you have to understand, at least in my own experience, you have to understand that you you cannot seek anything outside of yourself. Like whatever the world, if you depend on anything on anyone, that means that you depend on the world. And if the world can give it to you, the world can take it away from you. But if you give it to yourself, only you can take it away from yourself, if that makes sense. So I'm in a journey where I'm exploring my inner world. And I think that will reflect on everything else that I touch, that I see, and anyone that I encounter with. I'm just a reflection, like you are a reflection of me, I'm a reflection of you, and so everyone else. Like it's weird. I don't want to get too esoterical on you, but yeah, I'm just enjoying this journey of inner experience, and I'm finding myself.
Wow. What's your star sign astrology?
Virgo.
Virgo. Virgo is which month?
September.
September. I see. Okay.
September.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, as I can see your passion about, about fitness, about being healthy and your mind as well. But what do you find most challenging about that? Of course, there's always a challenging part as well. You're not always there with this, beautiful mindset. But through your career, since you became a coach, since you kind of, going through the journey, what do you find most challenging?
Sometimes I'll say you can't change people that don't want to change themselves, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I can only help you so much, right? I can only make you see, make you learn so much. Ultimately, it's your choice. If you want to do it and you really want to do it, you will do it. You can get the information, you can get the training, you can get the coaching, you can get the motivation, but ultimately the discipline of learning and the pain of learning is down to you. Uh, um, yeah, I mean, there's only so much I can do. Like, there will be good days, there will be bad days, but you need to show up to every single one of them. Sometimes you won't feel like doing it. Sometimes you will mess up. That's absolutely fine. Like, I've messed up plenty of times. There's plenty of days that I don't want to go to the gym, or because I just don't, like, I don't feel like to. And sometimes I just give in. I'm just human, just like the rest of you. But I pick up my pieces, put them together, and okay, let's try one more day. And it's just like that. Just go again, try. Never stop trying. That's
And
that's it.
And those days when, as you mentioned, thank God you are the kind of person as well. Sometimes you go like, you know what, it doesn't feel like, or you just, maybe you had the night out or something like that. My question for you is, on those days when you miss it, something that you planned to
Yeah.
carry on with your schedule, you're kind of person that you give yourself a hard time. You go like through the day, you go like, I should have missed it. I shouldn't have missed it. Or you're kind of person you go like, you know what? Okay, it's okay. I'm doing well, so I can miss today. How do we approach that genuinely?
I'm both. I am both because you have to. Everything is dual in nature, right?
Yeah,
So, in my opinion, you have to. I talk to myself like I will look at myself. Oh, you can be lazy piece. You should have done this and that. And then I'm like, okay, enough. Now, pick up the pieces. You just made a mistake. It's okay. What are you gonna do now?
yeah,
And then you just take the choice. It's a choice. So what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna keep, being a little, or you're gonna pick up your pieces and go and attack? So it's just that. But you need to be hard on yourself, but you also need to remind yourself to be kind to yourself
yeah.
because you just human. You have, if I
Totally.
tell you you will bleed, you're just human. That's
Totally. I'm just asking you that because I remember when I was younger, I literally, if I missed not just the gym, if I missed something that I've always been very focused on everything, but if I miss it for some reason, like, oh my god, I was through the day, I was giving myself a hard time, and it drained me because all this energy. But nowadays, when I've learned, like, you need to be kind to yourself, you need to look at the mirror, you go like, you know what, you're doing well, you just miss it. And it's interesting because sometimes if you focus too much in this, it's amazing to focus. I think focus is a determination, it's a discipline. I love that. However, you need to understand that sometimes just life, step in, and sometimes you need to follow as well. Life is just maybe trying to show you a lesson or to stop you a little bit, for you to learn something about it. Took me a while, but now I kind of learned how to deal with that. And I think the focus always needs to be there.
yeah.
However, if if something goes the different direction, because not just up to us, it's life around us. There's a lot of things
It's,
can happen. You need to be kind. That's how I learned as well.
it's
Amazing.
good. The willingness needs to be there, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. It hurts, but still we can we can
Yeah.
we go like, okay, just don't stop giving yourself a hard time. Right. Next question is, if you could change something yourself or about yourself, what that would be and why?
To be fair, I wouldn't change anything because I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I make plenty of mistakes. God
Yeah.
knows I make plenty of mistakes. God knows I have many, many flaws. But I wouldn't change anything. I'm like I said, I learned to embrace the chaos and the journey. And at the end of the day, it's up to I am the way I am because of my choices and my experiences.
Hmm.
And it's up to me to learn. And whatever I want to change, it will naturally come, if that makes sense.
Sure.
If I choose to do so. But right now, I'm just enjoying everything as it is. Um, but yeah, I just yeah, I think I'm happy with that answer.
Amazing. Yeah. Got it. I think it's a great place to be when you know that. Yeah, you know your strengths, you know your weakness, you know your mistakes, you know things that you are proud of. So it's great to embrace everything. It's everything counts in the end of the day to shape us. I think it's very important for sure.
Yeah.
Last question. Ready?
Ready?
How do I say last question in Portuguese?
Say again.
How do I say last question in Portuguese?
Última pergunta.
Amazing. Let's do it. Okay, but before the last question, work with kids. Yeah, as you mentioned, it's a lot of going on. You see things that sometimes it's difficult sometimes to see children going through about certain situations. However, being around kids, you learn a lot as well. There's always a lesson, you learn a lot. So tell me something that you've learned through your work, with the kids. Something that you go like, you know what? I'm glad that I learned something with the kids. If you could share something.
Don't take life too seriously. Don't take life is a big tragic comedy.
I
That's
like
what
that.
is a big tragic comedy. But kids, they're a lot more resilient than they realize. They may face they may face a lot of consequences, obviously, through their actions, but they also have the ability to shake it off. Like a kid, he could be upset with you for like 2 days. One day, I don't want to talk to you because you told my mom this. But then the next day, they're like, you know what, they take the hump a little bit, but they just kind of shake it off and forget, and then all of a sudden they're talking to you. So as adults, we tend to hold a lot of stuff. We tend to hold our emotions. Oh, I need to be careful what I say. I don't want to sound stupid. I don't want to, they don't care. They are who they are,
Yeah.
and they like who they are.
Yeah.
That is it. And I think we need to unlearn and relearn who we are as adults, right? Because I think we lose that quality, we lose that touch with ourselves as we grow older. So just keep your feet on the ground, as they say.
Totally. I think kids, they have no filter. That's what the beauty. They just say what they think, and that's amazing. Once somebody told me that some days when you feel down, you feel lonely, or you feel sad for some reason, sit down with a 5-year-old child for a few minutes, or sit down with an 80-year elderly person for another 5 minutes, and trust me, you're gonna learn something, and you're gonna change your mood for sure. That's how. Yeah, I think there's always something to learn from both sides.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. That's true. That's true.
Last question is, what's the best gift have ever received?
Awareness.
Wow. Tell me why.
Awareness. You cannot change who you are. You can't change anything about you or your environment if you are not aware. So everything starts with awareness of how you think, how you feel, where you are, who you talk to, what you consume. Is everything, it all comes down to awareness. Most people think that the most valuable resource is time. I don't think it's time at all. I think it's attention. Attention, whatever you determine your focus to and whatever you direct that attention to, it's what you give your energy to, right? Everybody's got the same time. So it's the attention.
Amazing. Okay. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words, just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
Let's start with money.
Oh, pleasure.
Fear.
Doubt.
Family.
Love.
Life.
Death.
One word for love.
Oh, compromise.
Religion.
Faith.
Sex.
Problems. Problems.
Interesting. Actually, I had so many people here over the globe, like over 1,000 people. I don't think anyone ever said problems for sex. First person.
Just think about it. In the long run, it's just not worth it, man. It's just sex. It's just sex, bro. It's what it is.
Politics.
Rubbish.
Friendship.
Love.
Desire.
Oh, I'm still. My mind is still blank. My mind is still blank. Flow.
Say again?
Flow.
Okay. Regrets.
No life.
Success.
Happiness.
Wish.
Work.
One word for happiness.
Purpose.
One word for Brazil.
Samba.
I love it. One word for Madrid. For Spain. Let's say Spain.
Paella.
I love it. One word for London.
Oh, work.
One word for coaching.
Help.
And the last one now, the name of your profile, the real fasting king. One word.
Oh, the one you need. The one you need. I know it's one word, but maybe the one you need altogether.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend. Define Darius in one positive and one negative word only. What your best friend would say about you?
I think they'll say I'm the positive thing is that I'm tenacious.
Mhm.
He's strong. He's smart. And a bad thing will say he's very stubborn. He's very stubborn, and sometimes because he's stubborn, that gets him in trouble. But he means well.
Great. Let's play now, Darius, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before asking the question, tell me what's your favorite Portuguese word?
My favorite Portuguese word will have to be coração.
Oh, sweet.
Coração, yeah. It sounds
Amazing.
nice. It sounds nice. Coração. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a, I like the sounds that this nasal sound that we have, sound, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sound. I like that. Right, you can ask me a question now, Darius.
I wrote a question down for you. So, what's a small decision that ended up changing your life in a big way?
Oh my God, such a great question. Wow, I love the question. A small decision. Okay, I'll tell you right now, the first thing that came to my mind. Back in Brazil, when I was 19-year-old, you know, no social media, no internet, I'm talking about 2002. I remember, I had this willpower, always being very, very focused, back to focus. I wanted so badly to live in a country that I could speak English every day. I had this dream about, moving abroad, this and that. And at the time, the only way for you to travel, or there was this travel agency, still had some, these shops where they sell plane tickets and this and that. And I remember literally knocking some doors, and I said, "Look, I had this dream to live, abroad." And I remember the people look at me like, oh, yes, of course, but okay, let's start the process. Your parents, they can pay, they can support in this. No, they can pay for your tickets. No, they can pay for your course or something that you want to live in the US. No, I'm sorry, but we cannot even start the process for you because, you need someone to support you. You need someone who can pay for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, how can I do that? And I was knocking on a second door, another travel agency. And they were like, the same questions. Do you have this? Do you have that? I don't. I just have this dream. I want to live abroad. Of course, they would say, no, we cannot do anything about it. So I did like maybe 2 or 3, and the reality came along and said, okay, I got it now. My parents, they need to have possessions. They need to have a way to support me. I cannot just, take a plane and go abroad. I'm 19. I need to have some support. However, there's always the last door. There's always a last door. That's when I'm going to get to your question now. I remember walking down the street already, not like I was already give up about my dream, but when the reality hits you and you go like,
kind of low in that,
yeah, I was like, okay, I'm aware, I understand now, for me to go to live abroad, I need to have that. And I remember there was this little door, this little door, and I could see it was a travel agency, yeah. And it was the most simple one compared to the other one. The other one was a big store, a lot of people. This one was very little, very simple. I said, I'm going to go there. That's when I'm answered. And I knocked the door. And I remember, I have goosebumps now. I'm saying this story, I have goosebumps because it was so powerful. I remember there was a lady, there was just one desk. There was a lady sitting there. And I knocked the door and I walked in and I said to her, look, I'm going to tell you, look, I have this dream to live abroad, but my parents, they cannot help me. I don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. I told her everything what those people told me before. And she was looking at me like this, like her eyes was like, wow. And said to me, my God, I was expecting you to be this way, to tell me all this story. But, you know what I mean? Have you ever thought about living in Portugal? Because I had this dream of leaving the US. This American dream. The Brazilian have this American dream, go to the US. And she said, okay, I can see I can feel your determination that you want to. But those people, they're right. We cannot do anything about it if you don't have that. We cannot just send you, I could be bad to you and I could lie to you, make you buy the tickets. And, when you get there, they're going to send you back because you don't have money to support you there. But I have a friend. She lives in Portugal. Is a lovely friend of mine. She's a lady, and she comes to Brazil very often. And I feel emotional when I talk about it because it's such a beautiful story. And said to me, "But have you ever thought about living in Portugal?" And I was like, "No, I never thought about that." She said, "Maybe Portugal could be a way for you to live there some years, and after you can live to London, you go to London, to Ireland, or those places where you can live your dream, speak English every day."
Yeah.
So that's I said, "Yes, of course." So that's how everything started, Darius. And I'm going to stop here because I'm going to start crying. And just to your question, it's going to be a long story, but that's back to your question, is that that was a small decision that I made that changed my life. I literally, I was already not, I was sad about it because the reality just hit me, and I was like, you cannot do anything. You need the support. But when I saw that door there, this small agents, I said, I'm going to try one more time. And I did it. Goosebump again. So
you're giving me goosebumps. Look at this. Wow.
So that's my answer for you, your question. That was a small decision that I made. That's literally, if I didn't knock that door, I wasn't here talking to you right now, living a dream of speaking English every single day. So that's my answer for you, because, some decisions sometimes, they are small, but it can change your life, and the message here is, sometimes when those reality hits you, just take it, but never give up, keep going, because the last door can always open, and can open a big opportunity for you. So that's my answer for you. And thanks let me go back to that memory in my life, because it was something that I'm very proud of. When I think about this 19-year-old, boy with this dream of living abroad, and I had a dream to speak English every single day, to learn a new language, to help my family back in Brazil, so that was a small decision that I made that changed my life forever, for sure. Yeah.
That's very powerful, brother. That's very powerful. You gave me goosebumps, bro. That's not easy,
Yeah,
wow, and that's powerful.
I'm cutting a lot here because I could be here another hour talking about it, and I want to write a book one day about this memory in my life, Darius, because it's something very powerful, and sometimes you need those small decisions, as back to your questions, to give you some opportunities in life. It doesn't need to be a big dream, but different opportunities that you are looking for. That's how I see. Yeah.
Powerful, brother. Powerful.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Oh, very much so. I'm very glad I did this.
Thanks
I'm
again.
very glad I met you as well, William. You're an interesting character as well. So
the pleasure is all mine. I think, connect with people here, sitting here, Darius, with people. It's the best William anyone can have. When I'm here doing the interviews, it's the best William anyone can have, because I feel the greatest. I feel happy. I feel, talking to people like you, interesting people, sharing, life memories, people who have passionate people. I love passionate people, because you always learn something. You always connect, and it makes our day, connect with powerful and passionate people as well. So thanks again for taking the time. Thanks for being kind. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Okay. So I want to say two things. Adding on to what you just said, I think life is not even about yourself. Life is about people. So forget money, forget success. Like, people are what's left when you are gone. So life is about them. And my quote, my quote will be: to doubt yourself is to doubt God, and to doubt God is the greatest blasphemy of all. So believe in yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Thanks so much. It was a pleasure to connect with you, and keep in touch, okay? And good luck
with
the project.
Thank you,
okay?
William. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.